What's going on, Gemini? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're excited for your birthday season. For those of you, I'm excited. For those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just incredible, especially during this time, Gemini, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. So happy birthday season there, Gemini. Happy solar return. So what this spread is a yearly spread, and this is going to be because the solar return is when the sun is conjunct with with your natal sun position, and it's a great time for just like mapping out the year and getting everything's all figured out, Gemini. So that's what we're going to do with this spread here. But before we jump into this thing, just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Because everyone's just pumped for your birthday season here, Gemini. So Gemini, I'm going to be doing a few things with this. Like what I'm going to do is pull an oracle card, and then we'll get a tarot card to match it, and then every four we'll break down. We're going to do like a one for each year, and then we'll do an oracle card for every quarter. And keep in mind with these energies, I mean, if everything happens in the flow that I lay them out, please let me know next year. But if not, these energies are just meant, just something to be looking at, just some general things to be just being in our awareness, Gemini. And then I have a special deck for this one. It's an angel oracle deck, and so we're going to pull from that one first. And this one is going to be the consciousness that is going to be kind of watching over you over this birthday season. So let's start there, Gemini. Oh, you know what? Actually, before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings. So apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then the decks, and actually I need to include this one. The decks that I'm working with, I think that one too. I got a lot of things to update, Gemini. But I've included the ones that I have included. They're down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested there. But let's go ahead and see what consciousness is going to be watching over you during this time, Gemini. I love these cards. Oh, yeah. Okay. I love it. Let's see what we have here. Let's see who we have here. Oh, I'm with it. So we have Barakiel here. I'm assuming that's what her name is. But she's the 31st card, and it's involved with Pisces, Neptune, and Jupiter. Look at her. What's her deal? She's the divine angels of blessings. I post these out like once a month, Gemini. It's a surprise for everybody. But with this consciousness, so oh, I love that. So this energy, or this being showers represents showers of heavenly love, intercession, good fortune, removes blocks to success. And that's brilliant, Gemini. And that's exactly what we're doing for this solar return, thinking about what blocks may come up and how we can get to that good fortune and get to that success. But on this card also says, I can help you become a generous, let me get my reading glasses on. I can help you become a generous channel through which God will pour a fountain of blessings into people's lives. And I like that. That's dope. And you know what? That's something to think about too, Gemini. I like that. Not to say that you're not a generous sign already, but if there's something that if you've been wanting to give back, as far as like creating some things, or maybe being, doing some kind of being of service, maybe doing some stuff for the community, maybe like a cleanup, maybe working at volunteering at like a soup kitchen. Anything along those lines. I tell you what, when you give good fortune, and you're raising that vibration, and be a person who's out delivering blessings, the blessings return back to you tenfold there, Gemini. So I like that. And especially too when you think about Pisces, Neptune, and Jupiter. Jupiter and Neptune rule over Pisces, and just Neptune and Pisces, and Neptune will be in Pisces for the next 2 years, but that's very compassionate energy there, Gemini. And when you think about Jupiter is a planet of abundance. So, you give, and there's something about that, when you're giving and you see that stuff kind of just working back, and in giving with not, in doing without expecting, you know what I mean? That's another big thing too, just doing it out of this, because of the love for your heart. And that is, Beautiful start there, Gemini. Absolutely. That's how we start off a birthday season, being abundant, feeling generous, spreading that abundance around there too. I like that. Now let's get the first oracle card here and see what's how this first month might be looking for us. Let's see what we got here. Oh, interesting. Okay, so you got the 8th card of Libras here, which is the blinders card. So with this blinders card, this is a card of victim mentality, confusion, tunnel vision, resist clarity, confirmation bias, restrictions, narrow focus, echo chamber, denial, oblivious, out of touch, hyper focus, and concentration. And you know, Gemini, we do want to be mindful, especially with you being a sign of communication. You know, we want to be mindful of the things that we are, you know, if we're getting caught up in the echo chamber and what's actually echoing in that chamber. You know, are we in a place of doom, gloom, and, you know, trying to avoidance? Or, because you know, during your season, you know, towards the end of, towards like the end, well, this is going to be closer into getting more towards into Cancer, but we have a lot of retrograde, or, you know, Pluto's going to be retrograding on the, retrograding into Capricorn on the 11th. There's going to be, you know, we're in a time of just like, of just great change here. And so we want to be just mindful of the narrative. And if it's been a lot of just like that negative, maybe low vibration stuff, just perpetuating the destructions and things, let's change the narrative. What blessings are we getting ready to bring here, Barakiel? I'm not sure that's how we're going to roll with it. What kind of blessings are you bringing in this world here? How are we alleviating some of this stuff here? How do we help others take that blinders off and, you know, and to bring some clarity to this confusion here? Because and how really, who better than the communicator of the zodiac, communicator of the divine, to bring this, to help bring this clarity and to bring some peace of mind to the soul tribe and let them know, like the news, it's like, yeah, sure, there's all this stuff going down here, but that means that there's all these opportunities for this. You know what I mean? You can be, that's another blessing too. Inspiration there, Gemini, absolutely. But with something too to think about with this card, you know, is getting into victim mentality, you know, being aware of feeling stuck, you know, or that just getting caught in our head and feeling that things are just out to get us, just to keep us down all the time. These, you know, throughout this year, you know, any adversities that you come through, they're meant to make you stronger. You know, they're not meant something to be avoided, because if we avoid this stuff, that's how things fester, and then they become tower moments, they become hangmans, and that's not to me to get you scared. That's just to get eyes on some things, and just pay attention to any sort of like, just the victim mentalities, you know, any ways that we might be restricting ourselves, anything along those lines, you know, and even just like staying like out of touch, you know, just like, I feel like it's less about, you know, maybe as far as like, you know, it's good to, you know, listen, I'm a more so like a big reader, you know, I do a lot of studying stuff. It's not really in the ether. I'm not really picking it up. Like I let my friends will tell me about what's going on in the news, but, you know, I feel like this out of touch, you know, it's more so about making sure that we're not out of touch with ourselves, Gemini, that we're keeping that connection strong here, that we're listening to our intuition and our gut in these times here, because we're in an age of, you know, this next year is a great energy for you to be thinking about, because really the energies are what they've been giving me is like this time of reflection here. So be thinking about these ways that you want to grow, and how we can, if we find ourselves stuck in restrictions or anything, how we can get out of this. But let's get a tarot on this. Interesting, yep. You got the King of Cups in reverse here. And so with the King of Cups, if something got you thrown out of balance, because the King of Cups is like emotional wisdom. He's like my card of like, you know, that connection between the head and the heart. And if there's something that has, you know, just kind of got you thrown out of whack, you know, get you where we're trying to avoid these things, we don't want to avoid problems, Gemini. You know, with the King of Cups, he's normally thrown on an ocean, and if there's something that's been kind of stirring up, you know, we got to get eyes on it. We observe it, figure out how we can work with it, and then grow from that thing. But also, the King of Cups, there's just this energy here. I feel that like maybe if we've noticed that maybe there's been maybe even just like the people around us, maybe if this is at work, our family, at you know, amongst our friends, if you've noticed that the tone has been maybe a little bit lower, a little more kind of melancholy, kind of somber, kind of worried, then the King of Cups, he's a very compassionate, very loving figure. He rules the first two decans of Pisces and the last of Aquarius. So he's all about the soul tribe and talking about spreading good fortune and spreading the words of good news and things like that. It's like, yes, there's this stuff going on, but man, look at these opportunities too. Look at all this growth that's getting ready to happen here. Sure, there absolutely tower moments are all over the place. Sign me up, because then after these towers have been cleared, then abundance is going to go. That's an area. Now we got these fertile ground for seeds to sow. So I'm with it. Let's get another oracle on the mix. Look, that's what I'm talking about, Gemini. You got the 9th card of Scorpios here, which is the Phoenix card. And with this card, this is a card of transformation, eternal soul, renew, resurrection, rebirth, destroy, rising from ashes, emerge, new era, alchemy, transmutation, ascension. The end is just the beginning. And that's what we were just talking about, Gemini. You know, we are entering into a new era. This is the era, really, you know, it's setting the stage. Pluto is, you know, setting the stage, especially for Aquarius, but for the air signs in general. This is going to be a really potent energy for you. You can talk about transformation. Pluto rules over Scorpio. And, you know, when this energy is that when Pluto does officially move into Aquarius next year, that's going to be forming trines with wherever you have Gemini placements, and so you're going to be feeling that it'll be a you know, interesting transformation. But trines are very easy energies. You know, the flows, if we work with them, this could be one that we can transition through this resurrection, you know, effortlessly, or you know, with relative ease. But if we resist this change and we keep the blinders on, growth is going to happen regardless, Gemini, but it's just going to feel a little more uncomfortable when we resist this stuff here. But it's remembering that at the same time, you know, when there's something that's ending, concurrently something is, you know, beginning. And it's keeping that faith, remembering that it's not just all letting go and cycles and things. We have to let go in order for us to fill, you know, our cups with newness, with great things, and to really, you know, embrace this transformation. But yeah, let's get another tarot on this. Love it. Look at you all regal. You got the Queen of Swords upright. And I like that, because that's exactly what transformation brings. Clarity. It brings an understanding of what we need to bring into balance, you know, and then how can we make a routine of that. She rules the first two decans of Libra, last of Virgos. And so, you know, this is an energy, you know, really be thinking about this next year. If there are things that just feel out of whack, you know, that you've been meaning to grow from, been meaning to try to transmute into something, you know, beautiful here, then let's start working on that stuff. Let's get eyes on that and figure out what are those, and be honest with ourselves. You know, what are some areas that are holding us back that may be preventing this generation? And be honest, but be kind to yourself, you know, because sometimes we can be, maybe, you know, when we get eyes on this thing, it can help, it can get us feeling some kind of way. But again, it's not meant to get you to feel down. Is meant for you to rise up. But also, I'm kind of thinking with this energy as well here, Gemini, just thinking with that alchemy, this is a great energy to, I feel like, just to really be just creating stuff, you know, just really be getting in your manifestation, because that fosters growth as well. When you really kind of get into that creative space, it gets you connect with higher self, and just like helps just like open, really kind of, again, gain some clarity, get you connected to that divine space. Because when you can make that divine connection, Gemini, I mean, man, I imagine what you can start cooking up, you know, what direction this life could potentially take you. So, you know, don't sleep on this change here. If there weren't any Scorpio energy, it'd be a whole hot mess. But, you know, just a little something to think about there, Gemini. All right, let's get another oracle on the mix. Woohoo! Look at you, all intuitive. All right, now we got the first card of Scorpios here, which is when we just talked about that connected with the divine. You got the crystal ball card here. I see you, psychic. And with this card, this is a card of intuition, premonition, seeing clearly, discernment, perception, sixth sense, instinct, divination, future planning, ESP, past, present, future, gut reaction, and inner knowing. And so Gemini, while we're going through this change this next year, this might be, really, any time is a great time to be thinking about what ways can we strengthen our intuition, really tuning into those senses. I feel, great place to start. In order to get to that sixth sense, we have to get familiar with the other five senses. You know what I mean? How do we, being just really present, what are our tactile senses feeling? What are we smelling? What taste are we tasting? And not even just like, even like food, like what are we telling ourselves? What flavors of words are we using in conversations that we're having? What are we hearing? Are we around a lot of cacophonous noises, or what does that look like? Can we bring in some more balance here? Because when we do start tuning into that stuff and really listen to the body, tuning in, kind of clearing that space, then man, it really helps us, just to navigate this journey more intuitively. And who knows, Gemini, while you're growing through this, and we're spreading these information to these people, you could be a person to help others connect with their intuition. And great time for some future planning here, but maybe even for some of us as well, if we've been even thinking about maybe getting into doing some divination, maybe getting yourself a crystal ball, maybe doing some tarot, maybe whatever that looks like, getting some meditation, some yoga, absolutely, see where that takes you. How we were talking over here, we got a little Jupiter energy. Jupiter's a planet of expansion, learning, and learning all facets of yourself, physically, mentally, spiritually. Absolutely. And I think that's all I got there. Okay, I thought I had more there. But yeah, trust that gut, Gemini. But let's get another tarot on this. Absolutely. Gemini, I love when you sync up with the energies. You got the Two of Cups here. And with the Two of Cups, this can be like after your card, the Lovers, this can really be a strong connection of getting with higher self for me. Because what better way, in order for you to help fill others' cups, we have to fill our cups first and kind of check in and see how that connection is. That do we have that internal harmony? This is Venus in Cancer. And if there are areas in ourselves that we need to nurture, then doing that stuff, listening to the body, how are you feeling physically, mentally, spiritually, all of those things, checking those connections. And then when we start making that stronger connection, that's how we strengthen that sixth sense and really get in touch with our higher self and our spirit guides and all of that there, Gemini. But I'm also kind of getting with this, Gemini, the Two of Cups can be I almost am getting like a sharing these like talking more about this stuff, like maybe making this stuff up, really this soul searching and, really kind of opening up to what's going on around us and, listening to that future, thinking about, how things have been going in the past, how that's affected the present, what we're going to do to affect the future, having these sort of like broader conversations, how are we going to, again, bring beauty into the world, how are we going to get maybe a King of Cups inspired, a Queen of Swords, are there others maybe thinking about this, wanting to spread divine blessings and things along those lines. So yeah, just really so far very intuitive year for you. It's what we're looking at here. But let's get another one on the mix. Let's see what we got here, Gemini. Nice. You got the 6 card of Libras here. I like this. We got the Libra Scorpio here. Maybe fall time, Gemini, might be a good, maybe around like Libra season, around the equinox might be a real intuitive time for you. That's where, around the time of the eclipses. But you got the 6 card of Libra here, which is the Repairman card. And with this Repairman, This is a card of repair, fine-tune, heal, fix, many working parts, reset, proceed carefully, needs fixing, make adjustments, recover, skilled, make things right, mend, restore, and upgrade it. And that's really kind of Gemini. So far, that feels like what we're doing. You know, we started off, we had maybe had the blinders on, but you know what? We learned, we transform, we're learning, getting intuitive, and now we're tweaking that stuff. Now we're strengthening these energies, and I'm with that, Gemini. And that's how we grow. You know, that's all that life is about. We get eyes on a weakness, and then follow that trend, and then wash, rinse, repeat, and then you know, and then we get better at it and better at it, and we just keep upgrading. And so, absolutely. Really be paying attention to these areas in our lives, Gemini, because there's so many parts, you know, in this journey, you know, to try to balance and to keep all into when we're trying to keep centered here. And don't let that overwhelm you, Gemini. You know, take it, whatever areas that you want to grow in, take it by cycle, you know. Let's start with one thing, or if we can do a couple things that make sense, you know, but make it work for you. But, you know, yeah, just and be kind to yourself again as you're doing this stuff here, because again, you know, sometimes, you know, while we're making these tweaks, we might get a little off on the road, but that's all right. We make some adjustments, and then we pivot a little bit, then get right back on track there. But, and you know, too, just, you know, even thinking with that Two of Cups being Venus and Cancer, you know, it gives me very healing energy. And if there are some, you know, if you find yourself, you know, maybe through this year of, you know, where we're, you know, maybe we have like a lot of work that we've been doing, you know, maybe been under a lot of stress, maybe just been a lot of things going down, just making sure that we're carving out little moments to recover, to heal, to restore, and just make sure that the body's and everything just is running, you know, well there, Gemini. But let's get a tarot on that. Let's see what we got here. Nice. Okay. You got the Four of Cups up right here, Gemini. And you know, I feel like with the Four of Cups that sometimes we can get in this place where if life can feel, because the Four of Cups can be kind of apathetic sometimes, you know, like where it's like, you know, life can seem kind of meh, or that we feel like that maybe we've been missing out on opportunities, or, you know, like that the universe isn't hearing our call or anything along those lines. And I feel like that's what we're working on, Gemini, getting more in touch with the universe, you know, fine tuning that connection, especially that's something we've been feeling a little disconnected from the source and just been feeling like we've just been kind of just going a little aimlessly there. That's a great time to meditate, you know, create some stuff, do some, however that you take helps for you to get in your Zen place. But we do want to get into this, be mindful and be careful about getting into a place of where just sort of like, you know, we've lost that lust for life, where just everything just kind of seems just sort of commonplace or whatever. And you know, when that comes up with the Four of Cups, my thing with that is, it's like, okay, well, if life hasn't been, or if you find that things haven't been exciting or haven't been going your way, all right, well then let's change some things. Let's be, if life isn't doing it, then it's time for you to do it. Let's tweak some things. Let's figure out, let's tap into that intuition. Where's your gut trying to take you? You know what I mean? But another thing I feel like with the Four of Cups, sometimes when we're thinking about that transformation, it could be that, because this is the Moon in Cancer, and that gives me, you know, Moon rules Cancer, and that's, you know, both of them have to deal with the home. And sometimes when we think about that growth, it can be a little uncomfortable coming out of our comfort zone, especially if we're like, you know, maybe just getting into, maybe getting introduced to like divination and maybe occult studies, or just going through transformations in general. You know, sometimes that it can feel a little uncomfortable getting out of that zone. But when we step out of that place, you know, and it helps us get eyes on the areas that are weak, and it strengthens that foundation. So, you know, just another thing to think about while we're going through this energy, Gemini. But let's go ahead and see. Let's see what our oracle card is for the first quarter. Oh, I love it. All right, you got the Weaver card in reverse here, and so I feel like that really, Gemini, because really, I'll tell you what, the energies have been hot, and I feel like they're just only going to keep increasing from here. So this is an energy that, you know, start creating some stuff. So what do you want to weave together? You know, what are you trying to manifest? What do you, look at that, what do you got cooking in that pot, Gemini? And I feel like, you know, if you, think about that stuff. What blessings are we bringing in the world? How are we raising that vibration? I feel that really will bring it'll bring abundance, and not even just for you, just for creating stuff, but from others too, who will appreciate that. I mean, it all kind of ties together into this just wonderful story here, Gemini. So I like that. Nice little start to the little quarter here. Let's see. Let's get into the next little bit here. Get it, Gemini. You got the 6 card of Capricorn. I say, look at all fit. You got the bodybuilder card. And with this is a card of power, strength, forceful, determined, discipline, vigor, domination, push forward, influence, leverage, mastery, resolve, intense, resistance, self-improvement, and exercise. Gemini, I mean, seriously, I feel like so far this year, go out and get it. This is a time for really coming into your energy, really understanding, what you at a high vibration looks like, come into your strength, into your power. But I do feel like with this, just when the bodybuilder does come up, he's just like, how are we doing just on a literal sense as far as like moving the body? I'm not saying that we have to, doing kick throughs and kick outs and kettlebells here, but are we just getting out, maybe just getting out for some air, or are we doing maybe some yoga, or just doing the, like let's say, for example, if we have like a sedentary job, we're working at an office or maybe work from home, are we taking breaks in between, just kind of stretch the body, make sure not staying stiff, stretch the wrist, make sure not getting carpal tunnel, things along those lines, just some, and listen, this isn't health advice or anything, but just some things to just some stuff to be thinking about, Gemini. But really, this is what the solar return's all about. Self-improvement, figuring out what areas that we can get some resistance so that we can acquire some expertise, really be disciplined and determined, and coming into your higher vibration. I'm all about that, Gemini. Let's get a tarot on this. Nice. Okay. And that's great, because that's what we're going to work on, because you got the 3 of Wands in reverse here. And so I feel like with this, it's asking you, what areas do you want to expand in with this bodybuilder card? Because the 3 of Wands is seeing these opportunities. And then when you find these areas that you want to work on, let's get on it, repairman. Let's listen to that inner guidance system. Where are the energies leading you towards? And then let's exercise that stuff. Let's get some resolution. And again, depending on what we're working on, it might feel a little intense sometimes, might be a little tricky, but again, when we work with this stuff, it can be smooth sailing from here. And again, just make it work from you. You don't have to, they might be wanting to go ham, but you might just want to be, we might be doing body weight this week, but again, it's just making this energies work for you, Gemini. Let's get another oracle on the mix here. See what we got here. Nice. Gemini, you're bringing it. You got the 3rd card of Leos here, which is the inventor card. I mean, you're innovative, you're intuitive, you're strong. What's going on here? Oh, wow. So with this inventor card, I think I just summed it up. This is a card of innovation, imagination, creative, gadgets, technology, groundbreaking developments, okay to fail, do it again and again, inspired ideas, setting trends, mastermind, and modern era. And I mean, we were talking about that. We're coming into a new era and a modern era. And what do you want to bring into this, Gemini? We were talking about that, creating some stuff, manifest. With Pluto being in Aquarius, and I mean, we already got the flavor, even though it's retrograding back in Capricorn. Being in Capricorn, this is thinking about what do you want to achieve? Where do you want to do some groundbreaking work in? I've been, the trend is, if you have any ideas, even if it doesn't resonate with you, write them down, because who knows who you may come into on this journey where higher self may try to lead you, connect you with, and then you're cooking up some stuff, weaving some things with some other people, collaboration. But, and that's something too. while we're going through this journey and this work here, it's okay to fail, Gemini. They're going to be, because when we fail, that gives us an opportunity to learn from something. If we just succeeded all the time, then there wouldn't be no growth. It's just like, well, we just goats. But that is the first I've ever said that, Gemini. But listen, this life is meant to, yes, we may have these little hurdles and things, and there might be some little failures and things, again, along these roads, but sometimes failures can inspire great ideas. You never know. I feel, wasn't that, I don't know if it was like, what was it, Oreos or chocolate milk or some things like that. Those random things where it's like you spill two things and they come together, you're just like, oh, what was that? Get in Gemini. Yours is that you are an inventive sign. Yours is, you're an intelligent one, you're inspirational, like you have a very, you're ruled by Mercury, so work with that mercurial energy and get those brain juices working. But let's get and especially the beginning of this your birthday season, right around the 11th of June, Mercury is going to be entering your sign, and so this is a great idea for that. I think it's like the 11th through the 26th of June. So you work with that energy. You got some ideas in there. Let's get them bad boys cooking. Let's get a tarot on this. Nice. And love it higher self. Higher self, so funny. You got the Page of Pentacles in reverse here, Gemini, and I feel like that this is just pretty much asking you, what do you want to create? And if you find yourself in a state where, because sometimes too, when we find ourselves stuck in a situation, it's just like, have you been chasing after something, or have we been, and I hope this makes sense, it's like, have we been chasing after a dream, or have we been creating things towards that dream? You know what I mean? Because it's one thing to have all these ideas and to keep that stuff in your head, but we got to bring that stuff from the dome to the home, Gemini. Otherwise, they're just going to see, that's very Neptune and Pisces, and Neptune's Pisces is going to be, again, for the next couple of years. So we want to be mindful of that. And Saturn being in Pisces, next few years is about taking those dreams, Gemini, tapping into that imaginative space and manifesting it, and your ruler is going to be retrograding in all of the earth signs this year. So this is thinking about that material realm. What value are we creating in this stuff here? What does that look like for you? What you can really do some groundbreaking stuff. I mean, you want to usher in a new age, Gemini? Go ahead. But yeah, we got to do, got to think about this stuff, and again, we're in a great era, great little period of time. I feel like, honestly, this next year is just getting these ideas cooking, figuring out what that looks like. So I like that. Let's get another oracle on the mix. And now you got the fourth card of Cancers here, which is the Mirror card. And with this card, this is a card of self-aware, seeing clearly. Look at that. I love that. Self-aware, seeing clearly, ego, facing issues, self-assessment, self-improvement, double self-improvement. I love it. Insecure, making comparisons, reflection, obsessed, narcissistic, vain, self-love, and self-appreciation. And look at that. It's like, we've gone from having blinders on, and now we're really checking things out. And I feel like that, Gemini, that's again what this solar return is about: developing a stronger awareness of yourself. Where areas do you want to? I mean, you got double self-improvement here, so doubling down on that, and it absolutely showing yourself some self-love and appreciation for all that you've done up until this point and everything that you do going forward. And every time, that you achieve something, take those moments. And every time you achieve and every time you fail, reflect on those and figure out how we can either grow from that or, make that win bigger for this next go round, what things were working. But if we have any issues that we need to face, again, don't keep those blinders on. We got to see it for what it is. Cancerian energy, my sun signs in Cancer, we got to feel it to heal it, because that's how we navigate here. And I know you being an air sign, it can be, emotions might feel, depending on how much, how much water you might have in your chart, emotions might feel a little tricky, but that's not to say you don't have emotions, Gemini. It's just we got to really reflect on this stuff, do those deep dives, do those intuitive questions, and really put in that work. But I absolutely love this. This is, and you know what? Just thinking about that too, the making comparisons while you're going on this journey, whatever stage that you're at, never compare yourself to anybody else. If I could, I would never tell you to do anything, but if I could, one thing, never compare yourself to others. Everyone's journey looks different, depending on it doesn't matter, just depending on the person. It's all different. So just keep that in mind. You are exactly where you need to be on this journey. So let's get a tarot on this. There we go, because that's what happens. You got the Strength card here, Gemini, and I like that. Because with the Strength card, this is a card of coming into that confidence, getting that self-awareness, seeing you for the brilliant Gemini that you are, for your powerful, intuitive, imaginative trailblazer, strong human being, transformative. So really, Gemini, this is how you do the solar return. I mean, I really couldn't, I'm trying to figure out who's doing the reading here, Gemini. I feel like you might even be ahead of the game here. I'm with it. But, with the Strength card, it's really about finding those energies. See, this is it looks like a figure eight here, but, this is the 8th card, but it's more, it's how to find those energies, get those energies to flowing, I'm not sure what my hands are doing here. They're not flowing, but it's taking this and turning it into something more fluid there, Gemini. And really working with your energies and paying attention to your strengths, and then getting eyes on your weaknesses and seeing how we can, and really all weaknesses are our strengths waiting to be discovered. So look at that, Gemini. I like that. All right, let's get another oracle on this mix. Nice. You got the 9th card of Tauruses here, which is the Still card. And this is a card of refinement, taste, culture, style, we're still fine-tuning, concentrate, develops over time, purify, filter, draw out, infusion, spirits, alcohol, perfume, reduction, and cultivation. And I mean, that's all this seems to be, Gemini. Like I feel like this is going to be an easy solar return for. I mean, as far as like what the focus is, this seems like we really are kind of focusing on self. Figuring out how do we want to develop over time. What areas can we purify? What areas do we need to? Are there some things that we need to let go? Some vices that need to be filtered out and things. Maybe do we want to do like a detox or whatever that looks like. But yeah, I really feel like you are in time of just like really being like steeped in your energies there. It's like you're becoming like your own personal infusion here with all this stuff that's going down. But I mean, I like that, Gemini. Let's get a tarot on this. You're becoming a mastermind. There you are, Gemini, or at least that's what we're forming, because you got the King of Swords in reverse here. This is one of your cards. He rules the first 2 decans of Gemini and the last of Taurus. And this is the question, Gemini. How do we get to that highest vibration here? Here's hubby. And this is, I love that when the Queen of Swords and King of Swords pops up, because it's like, this is Queen of Swords. This is the clarity, what we've learned, what we've acknowledged about ourselves, what we've observed. And then King of Swords is taking what we've learned, because in order to get that wisdom that he represents, we need to take what we've learned and put it into practice and really start getting that into a routine, Gemini, so that we can grow, so that we can get more stable, and that we can keep learning and keep doing that. So really take this information that you learn from yourself and figure out how you can grow. And then really you might be able to take this too, even with, we're building a soul tribe here slowly. Maybe you can even take this to some others. So I mean, this is very strong gear for you, Gemini. So far, I'm loving this energy. You remember about what? About 8 months in? I dig it. Let's see. Let's get another quarter card here. I like it. You got the Adorn card upright. And I feel like this is Gemini. You see, I love this mask. It's almost like the twins. This is like, what mask are we trying to wear? Hey, not even like what mask do we want to wear. It's just like, how do we see ourselves with this mirror here? And what do we want to present out to the world? You know, is what we wanting to be matching, you know, the energy that we're trying to put out there. And if not, let's figure out what we can do to tweak that, how we can be more in this intuitive energy, in this energy of self-growth, self-improvement, draw this stuff out here. But I do feel like with this Adorn card, also, let's try not to be in the space where we have others try to tell us how we should adorn ourselves, or how we should be doing things or anything. Gemini, we again, powerful intuitive being. You know exactly what you want to manifest in this world, where the energies are trying to guide you. You know, we're listening, we're not getting caught up in the echo chamber, unless that chamber is telling you that, Gemini, you got this, and then bring it. Otherwise, keep it moving. Or you know what? You don't even got to be that. We can just say, okay, thanks for, I'll meditate on it. But you know, it's like what I tell you at the beginning. You take what resonates with you and you leave the rest with them. So I'm with it. Let's get to this last little chunk here. Nice. Because that's exactly what's going down here. You got the second card of Aquarius here, which is the Labyrinth card. And with this card, this is a card of loss, delays, complex, contemplate. It's complicated, going inward, spiritual quest, deliberation, long way home, problem to solve, catch-22, and a situation to sort out. And that's honestly, Gemini, what I'm getting with this. It does feel like that for a good chunk of us, we're going to be on this spiritual quest. I'm not sure you could tell. There's this person here that's at this beginning of this labyrinth. And it's like, yeah, you know, life can, you know, it's a maze, you know, figuring these things out. You know, sometimes we're moving along swimmingly and then we run into a dead end. It's just like, what happened? And then while we're backtracking, that's the time that we take to reflect. And then by the time that we're done reflecting, we find a new path. Oh, how brilliant. And then we find a new path. And then you see how the growth is happening. Man, that was fantastic. But that all happens when we go inward, Gemini. And again, listen to that intuition. Listen to these instincts, because, yeah, there's something here that's screaming that your intuition is going to be, I mean, it's always going to be important. But really, there's a fine, you got a lot of, yeah. So be thinking about that. But I'm also kind of feeling with this, you know, that if we do get in the place where if we're feeling lost in this thing, if it becomes too much, you know, or this thing can feel like, because, you know, it can, you know, when we get in this realm, this can be a lot to take on. I feel like it really is, the mindset is going to be the name of the game. Because I remember listening to another reader. They had said something that I really kind of liked when they were talking about if we're feeling lost. It's not that you're lost, it's that we're on a self-discovery, you know, more self stuff. You know, we're really trying to learn ourselves, you know, trying to reinvent, you know, who Gemini is, and you know how this King of Swords looks at their highest vibration. And whew, let's get a tarot on this. Brilliant. You got the world here. And so that's pretty much, and this is Saturn's card here. And I love that, because Saturn is one of Aquarius's rulers. Because here's the thing, you know, when we're going on this quest to find what our world looks like, you know, to find what's next, you know, it's a lot to take on. And that's why sometimes it's like you know, instead of getting lost in, like, it's good to have the big picture in mind, but it's like, okay, we got this focus, high vibration here. Let's get the details now. You know, what steps can we take? You know, what makes sense to start integrating towards this world right now, so that we can get to this next cycle going. So really, you know, Gemini, I feel like so far, you know, and especially like I was saying, Saturn being in Pisces, this is asking us, you know, what does your dream world look like? What are we manifesting? How are we creating this stuff? And here's the thing too, Gemini, something to think about while we're talking about creations and stuff. You know, when we're going through these journeys, you know, what better way, you know, maybe to put something out there, maybe to inspire others and to, you know, maybe tell your story, maybe do like a vlog, maybe do, because I mean, yours is a sign, again, communication, you can deal with the internet, you know, all of those things, you know, maybe we're doing a YouTube channel, maybe we're doing something on, I don't know, Discord, maybe we're doing whatever that's looking like, but, because wouldn't that be great, especially, you know, when we have those moments where we wish that we had someone there to help us, you know, or maybe some materials there for us, you could be that gift for someone else, bring some blessings for them, and then remember how we were talking about the universe responds in kind. Saturn will reward you, absolutely. So I like that. And don't feel, you know, and if we run into any kind of delays or things get a little complicated along the way, these adversities are meant to make you stronger, you know, get that strength up. So let's get oh, look at that, easy. Gemini, I mean, it's like the reading's almost just like repeating itself. You're about to get so introspective, like sage. You got the 4th card of Pisces here, which is the scuba diver card. And this is a card of going within, observation, 0 point, self-examination, exploring the unconscious mind into the void, desire to know, more self-reflection, disconnecting, deep thoughts, and subliminal. So I mean, Gemini, when you're doing this thing, I mean, go commit to it, go like it matters, you know, because there's something here that's your intuition is trying to get higher self, you know, your spirits are trying to get Gemini. Ascension is knocking. Are you available? That's essentially what's happening here. And I know, you know, when we're learning these parts of ourselves, Gemini, you know, it's just be mindful. If you get into an area, maybe that it gets a little too deep, you know, because even thinking with the Scorpio energy, that can be kind of intense. It can bring up some maybe some tough situations. And if something gets too much, maybe put it to the side, you know, maybe do something else for a little bit and then come back to it as it makes sense. But yeah, there's something here that maybe there's something that's deep down buried inside. Maybe there's some childhood healing, or you know, some child that might want to get, you know, made to get done. You know, however this is looking, you know, if we need to maybe talk with our friends about this, or maybe even, you know, it's not medical advice, maybe even seek like a professional. However this is looking, but you got a lot of introspective work, I feel, that's going down here, Gemini. But let's get a tarot, or get some tarot on this. Beautiful. I mean, come on. Queen of Cups in reverse. You know, I feel like when the Queen of Cups pops up in reverse, just like how I was talking about, because this is Cancer's card. She rules first 2 deacons of Cancer and the last of Gemini's. If there are some emotions that we may be avoiding, you know, or that some things that we might not be feeling, or that, you know, we might not, you know, I feel like really, Gemini, doing a self-check-in, you know, there's something about reflecting on some things, you know, maybe this is with some relationships in the past, or, you know, maybe relationships that we may come across with, or maybe there's even like, you know, Gemini, this could be something too, maybe even like, because you do got some strong people here, maybe this is like even finding like a spiritual guide or something along those lines, or even on the flip end, you know, with all these people other than the Queen of Swords, that might be you, Gemini. Maybe you're becoming a teacher, because yours is a great energy for becoming, you know, being in that type of field, you know, and however that translates. But there's something here just with like, there's something that maybe if we're just paying attention throughout the year, if there's some tough emotions that we might not be healing or might not be feeling, just something that might need some air even, you know, even if we don't deal with it right now, just acknowledging it, you know, something, if we just pay attention, you know, those areas deep down, you know, there's something here that's really I feel like that's trying to get your attention. So just something to be mindful of there, Gemini. Let's get another one on the mix. Gemini, we're going on an adventure. One of your cards here, you got the fifth card of Gemini, which is the, what is this? The yacht card. And this is a card of adventure, affluence, luxury, mobility, travel, great ease, smooth sailing, sophisticated, with the wind, self-indulgent, prosperity, comfort, wealth, over the top, and extravagant. And you know what? Honestly, with this, some of you might be, depending on how this resonates, you might be thinking about going on some kind of spirit quest, or maybe we're just traveling in general to maybe find our spirit, if we're not going to like an actual, maybe like a spiritual retreat, maybe we're going to get in touch with nature, maybe we're going by the water, maybe we're doing just more things, or you know what, and if this is not like a physical travel, maybe we're doing that, again, that internal travel, maybe finding that abundance within, finding that wealth with self. And that prosperity within. So yeah, I feel that once we really kind of get connected with whatever this energy is, I feel like that this journey will start, if things haven't been feeling like it's been smooth sailing, Gemini, it'll definitely start to improve here. But even just on a general level, this could be something too, if you think about travel throughout the year, definitely treat yourself, allow that space for some fun, to do something that you like, it's not, I'm all about, we want to take time to reflect, and that can be great, but sometimes we need a break from reflection, kind of give the body a chance to kind of catch up and process, do some fun things for yourself, something along those lines, Gemini. Go a little over the top there, be extravagant. You deserve it. I mean, look at this work that you're putting in here. So yeah, just something to think about. But let's get a tarot on this. Dang, Gemini, speaking of Cancer, here's the Chariot. And so with this Chariot, some of you, I feel like travel might be the name of the game this year. Maybe we might even be thinking about moving sometime, just be paying attention to that. There might be an opportunity for you, or if you're noticing maybe your environment isn't conducive to growth, maybe we need to think about changing things up here. But I mean, this is freaking sick. I mean, you talk about affluence and getting to that win there. Whatever abundance is looking like for you this year, Gemini. If it's wealth, or however, spiritual wealth, money wealth, health wealth. I don't know, Gemini. All the abundance. If we really work on this stuff, then I really, just you need to keep this energy moving. You're gonna be a winner, and I mean, what better gift to give you for your birthday season? I mean, this is phenomenal. Let's get this last card on the mix here. Our last couple. Okay, perfect. Absolutely. You got the 8th card of Capricorns here, which is the Library card. And with this card, this is a card of knowledge, learning, history, information, research, books, pastime, archives, hidden, documents, search, secrets, looking beneath the surface, author, reading, and writing. And so, Gemini, it seems like this is going to be one of higher learning here. I feel like this can be something, do some research on yourself, really learn. Do some research on yourself. Learn, what a good way to do that? If you don't know your chart there, Gemini, learn your chart. I got some apps down in the description box below that I like using. You need your date, place, and time of birth. Just a little extra tool in your tool belt. But, look for those things beneath the surface, Gemini. Do that deep dive. Learn as much as you can about yourself. Always be curious. I feel like yours is a sign really as active and as intelligent as you are. Absolutely, refining skills, and I don't mean just be learning stuff just for knowledge sake with the Queen of Swords. We want to learn stuff that we can apply later in life. King of Swords, that can further our growth along, And just how I was talking about, just how it's like, I know there's one other thing I want to talk about this with that author, reading, writing. Gemini, I feel like, while you're going through this thing, if this, while you did this journey, writing this stuff down, because I have a Gemini moon, and Gemini energies can be very overactive sometimes. It can be a lot of process. You can absorb a lot of information, and sometimes you need to pour that energy out into something, allow that to clear the space for more, for more information to process. So I really feel like yours is a sign. I tell you in Virgo this, just because you're Mercury ruled in particular, that you would really benefit from journaling, and again, take it as it resonates, but just something to think about. But also, being an author, I was talking about if we've been, while we're going through this journey of self-growth and things, what better way maybe to add a collection to the library there, Gemini, add to the archives for us, something to bring a little bit of knowledge there. I mean, how fantastic. Let's get this last tarot card on this. Ooh. All right. Okay, let's see what's so eager to come out here, Gemini. Oh. Okay, we're getting both of them, Gemini. Oh, yeah. Okay, so you got the. Look at that, Gemini. Herself is spoiling you here. You got the Hierophant, and then you got the Sun card in reverse here. And so, okay, yeah, with these cards, Gemini, this is the Hierophant is making that he's a really this is Taurus's card. He's a very intuitive figure, and I feel like he's that connection between the bridge and between the bridge. He's the bridge between the heavens and the earth. And Gemini, when you think about that, like I was saying, you are the divine communicators, between the divine and to us. So really learn about yourself and I feel like enjoy this energy while you're doing it, with the Sun card in reverse. There's something here, because when the Sun card pops up in reverse, like, yeah, that can be looked at as like, like maybe there's some sadness that's going on, but I like to look at it as an opportunity to shine light on something, to see while we're doing in this deep dive, what could use some healing, because again, the Sun, this could be because this is, I love that you got Leo's ruler here, the Sun. If there's some childhood healing that might need to be done, or just some general healing in general, then let's do that, Gemini. Let's get eyes on this stuff and start making that connection so that we can start doing this growing, this healing, this nurturing. And so I think this is fantastic. And what a strong way to end on the Sun. And I always one of my favorite things, because for me on this channel, you have a special connection with the Sun. Because I remember when I really, like in the early days, when I first started this channel, like I've been doing, but you're the channel or the sign that I came up with, like a pocket of sunshine, finding, because there was a moment there the Sun was just following you around all over the place. And I feel like it's still been I love when it just pops up here, but this could be a time, Gemini, to spread sunshine in your world, and honestly, even spread some sunlight to all these others here, maybe even this Hierophant. And again, the Hierophant can be a teacher, so this could be something where maybe you're the teacher, maybe we're looking for a mentor, but just something to think about, Gemini. But let's get this last oracle card for this quarter. Well, no, I guess it's not a quarter. I guess it's this trimester. Whatever. Moving on, Gemini. I might need to hit you up for a teacher for these math skills. Oh, maybe I do. And you know what? You got the commune card here, Gemini, in reverse here. And let's switch back over. Because with this commune card, I feel like this really is communing with your higher self, communing with the divine, and making that connection. Because you got you are steeped in intuitive energy right now. And I feel that probably you could just be steeped. It doesn't have to stop with this year, Gemini. The more you strengthen this stuff, it's just going to keep growing from there. So really, while there's an urge here, really just trust your instincts, see where those energies guide you. And I feel like, the second you really commune with stuff, then we get our happiness here. And then, this, because this is brilliant, what's going down in this, for this solar return. This is how you're you're my third one, but that's how you do it. So Bring it, Gemini. Show the soul tribe what's up. I'm with it. So, yeah, Gemini, I hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, give it a thumbs up and, share this, be thinking, because this is some great stuff to be thinking about, how we can get in touch with our intuition, what's reflection, what are some stuff that have happened in the past, some things we want to improve, how can we get a bigger win, how can we become stronger in some areas, do that in the present so that we can manifest sunshine in our future. And with all these people that you got here, Gemini, while you're out there enlightening them, have them all subscribe and then hit that bell button to get notified on all these videos each week. And you know what? While you're on the spiritual question, Gemini, if you haven't already, maybe create your own app. And if you do, let me know. I may come over there and join that one. But I'm on this meditation app, Insight Timer, and I created a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. It's just a place to drop like positive affirmations, encouraging messages. I would love to hear about this spiritual quest. This would be dope. Talk about this journey. Another little space for you to do some writing, you author, and then as the group grows, definitely want to do something. Been talking, maybe getting intuitive with the Hierophant. Who knows, Gemini? But let's get all these people over and get this group growing so that we can find out. So and all that information is in the description box. And then lastly, if you have, because you got all kinds of Cancerian energy here, the Chariot, Queen of Cups, I'm with it. And not that you need this, Gemini, but if you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, wherever, come on over to my other channel, The Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans, geek out over Queen of Cups. Chariot is a good old time. And all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get you surprise cards here so I can get you out of here. Interesting. Okay, I dig that. Because you got the Ten of Swords in reverse here, which is brilliant. Because this is the Sun in Gemini. This is what I'm talking. This is how we're syncing up. You see how you're syncing up with the energies right now, Gemini? I just got chills. And listen, there may be some points on this journey when you're doing with this soul searching, There may be some tough stuff that comes up because Ten of Swords can be a bit rough. This can feel like rock bottom. This could feel, maybe it's digging up some old stuff. And let me get your Oracle card over here. It's digging up some old stuff. But it's, the thing with the Ten of Swords is it's all up from here. The only way, especially if you're feeling at your lowest, then brilliant. How do we keep it moving? How do we move from that? How do we apply some sunlight to that? Where do we get our strength back? Oh, hold on here, Gemini. Okay, but yeah, that's, despite what that means, because the Ten of Swords can also be on another Ten of Swords. Usually, yes, this person is lying down there with those swords in her back, but in the background, the sun is rising again. And it's a matter of perspective, Gemini, in this journey. We can see this as we'll never get up from here, that we're down and that we're just going to always stay defeated, wherever this may happen in this year. Or, absolutely, you got the Death card in reverse here. Or we can see this for the growth that is trying to be here. But if we stay in this place of just feeling defeated in things, then it's going to hinder that growth, because look at that, you're trying to grow your tree in the ground there. And trees, that's a little tricky place. We want to look upward, think inward, think inward and upward. I'm not sure how that works, but with this tree. This is the old you healing. And when you do that healing there, Gemini, that old part of you, yes, there's a metaphorical death in a sense, because you're growing into a mighty new tree. You're blossoming into something grand. Your branches and your roots and things are working towards the sun. So look at that. It's all because this is what we're trying to get to the end, get to that fulfillment, that happiness, that victory, where just that strength there, Gemini. So embrace this change. I love this, Gemini. I think I'm gonna leave that there. So you stay safe out there with this catharsis on your travels. Go on out there, you shaman, prophet. I'm with it. Raise that vibe. Seriously, with all this, Gemini, raise that vibration through the roof, because you have brought it. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.